Welcome back to the VDC space, guys. Today we're going to be doing a table formwork in Revit. Before I get started, I would like to ask you guys to please subscribe if you're new. If you already did, hit that notification button as I upload BIM modeling tutorials and Revit tutorials 3 times every week. I cover different topics from wastewater, structural engineering, architecture, wastewater, roads and networks, bridges, and so on. Now, without further ado, let's jump into our project. So we're going to open up a new family, and then we're going to use the metric specialty equipment and say open. So the first thing for our table formwork is we're going to set up our references so that we can set up our dimensions. So we're going to place 2 reference planes on each side, and then we're going to offset them by 1500 millimeters. And then we're going to place other reference planes across like this on each side. And then we're going to offset these ones by 2000 millimeters. So we're just going to extend these and place them like this. And then in the middle reference plane, we're just going to unlock it and then adjust it like this and then lock it again. So these are our intersection points. This is where we're going to place our steel bases and also our steel rods, which are going to be supporting our plywood at the top. So we're going to go to the front elevation. So on the front elevation, we're going to set up our references again so that we can set up our heights for our steel elements. So we're going to place the first one like this, and then we're going to offset this one by 20 millimeters. And then while it's still selected, you're going to go to copy, and then you're going to copy another one upwards by 1000 millimeters, and then another one by 150 millimeters, and then another one by 1330 millimeters, and then the final one by 200 millimeters. Perfect. So I'm just going to unlock this and then drag this upwards like this, lock it again, and then this one I'm going to drag it like this, and also this one like this. Perfect. So I'm going to go to reference plane again, and then I'm going to go to create and say extrusion, and then I'm going to set up my my steel supports first. So this one, I think I'm going to make it so let's just make it radius of 40. So I'm going to place these ones. They are going to be 80 millimeters in diameter. So I'm going to say okay. Go to the front elevation, and then from this point I'm just going to drag it towards this point and then lock it, and then I'm going to drag it all the way upwards until this reference plane and then lock it, and then go back to the reference level, select it, and then I'm going to copy it towards the other intersection points, and then control select the 3 of these, and then I'm going to copy them to the other intersection points across like this. So if I open up the 3D view, this is how they look so far. So I'm going to select them, apply material to them. So I'm just going to make them aluminum. So I'm going to load aluminum in, apply, and say okay. Go back to the reference level. I'm going to set up my bases for these. So I'm going to go to create extrusion, set up my rectangle like this. So I'm going to select one side, and then I think I'm going to offset this by 100. So I'm going to make it 200 millimeters in width and also in length. And also this one is going to be offset by 100. And then the total length is going to be 200 millimeters. Perfect. And then I'm going to say finish edit mode, go to the front elevation, and then I'm going to adjust the thickness and make it 20 millimeters. Lock it. And then I'm just going to lock it against the bottom reference level like this. And then go to the reference level again, select your steel base, and then you're going to copy them to the other intersection points. Control select the 3 of these, and then copy them across to the other intersection points. And then we're going to select all of these bases. And then you're gonna go to material, and then you're gonna apply the same material. So you're gonna make them aluminium. So this is how it looks so far. And then after that, we're gonna go to reference level again. So we're gonna add another steel that's gonna be surrounding this steel rods that are gonna that's gonna be used as a support. So I'm gonna start at the top left. So you're gonna go to create again extrusion again, and then you're gonna say pick lines, and then you're gonna pick this whole circle, and then you're gonna pick your circle option, and then you're gonna draw your circle. So this one you're gonna make it radius of I think 60 millimeters works. So it's going to be 120 millimeters in diameter. And then you're going to say finish edit mode. Go to the front elevation, and then you're going to drag it towards this reference level, reference line. You're going to lock it, drag it towards this reference line, and then lock it. Perfect. Go to the 3D view, and this is how it looks. So you're going to select it, go to the reference level, and then you're going to copy it to the other intersection point. So you're gonna control select the three of them, and then you're gonna copy them to the other intersection points across like this. Go to the 3D view. So this is the progress. Now the last thing is for our support is we're gonna have to place another steel element that's gonna be used as a support for our main and secondary beams. That's gonna be running across, which are gonna be used as a support for our plywood on top. So we're gonna go to let's go to the front elevation. So on the front elevation, you're gonna say create and say extrusion. So from there, you're gonna place your point from this. You're gonna use this as your insertion point, and and then you're gonna drag your mouse to the right at 100 millimeters, and then you're gonna go to the top on this insertion point. Remember, we're gonna use this the 200 millimeter thickness, and then from there you're gonna take it to the right at 80 millimeters, and then diagonally towards this insertion, towards this point. So you're gonna select these lines, say mirror plate axis, and then they're gonna be copied to the other side. Obviously, I'm gonna remove these two so that I can just make these a single line. And then I'm gonna go to pick lines, and then I'm gonna offset it by 20 millimeters. So from all the sides, it's going to be 20 millimeters. And then I'm going to apply material to this before I say finish edit mode. So I'm going to make it aluminium as well. And then I'm going to say finish edit mode, go to the reference level, and then I'm just going to drag it to the other side. So I'm going to apply the dimensions like this so that I can adjust it. And then I'm going to press tab on my keyboard, select this line, and then I'm just going to make it 200 from all the sides. So all in all, the length is going to be 400 millimeters. So this is how it looks. Perfect. Now I'm going to select it, go to reference level, and then I'm just going to copy them. Uh, so I'm just going to uncheck this constraint and then copy them to the other intersection points. So it's going to be copy, control select, and then I'm going to say copy, uncheck the constraints, and then I'm going to copy them to the other intersection points. Go to the 3D view, and this is what we have. So a disclaimer, we are not going to apply parameters to this. It's just a dummy family which you can use for visualization. For instance, if you have a site logistics model or something like that, you can just use this table formwork as a way of showing how you can plan your transportation of concrete, or how the slabs can be placed in a building and that sort of thing. So yeah, so this is what you have for our basically our supports. And I'm just gonna open up a new family, go to new and then family. So I'm gonna go to metric specialty equipment again. So from there, I'm gonna go back to my those family, my supports, and then I'm just gonna load them into my new family. So I'm just gonna place them like this. and then go to the front elevation. So on the front elevation, what we're going to do is we're gonna model our main and secondary beams. And in order for us to do that, we have to use this void as our reference. So let's go. I'm gonna go to create and then extrusion, and then I'm just gonna place it like this, and then go down at 40 millimeters, and then this side also 40 millimeters, and then from there, okay, I'm gonna go to the right bit of 40 millimeters again, and then this one 40 millimeters, and then when okay, that's from this insertion point, I'm going to take it upwards by 40 and also this by 40, and then I'm just going to draw a straight line like this. So obviously it's going to clash with this, so I'm going to have to adjust it. So I'm going to move it like this, and then move it like this, and then take it to the right at 40, and then upwards like this, take it to the left at 40, and then upwards at 80 millimeters. So I want this to be sort of like uh, um, intersect with this line. So I'm just gonna drag this so that provides stability in terms of inside this the void of this aluminum element. So I'm just gonna select this line also, and then I'm gonna move it towards this point. So very provides us stability when it comes to how the beams are set. So there's not gonna be very much a lot of movement. So if I'm gonna go to finish edit mode and say reference level, and then I'm gonna drag this beam towards this point, and also drag it this side towards this point. While it's still selected, I'm gonna copy it to the other intersection points. So this one and also this one. And then I'm gonna open up the 3D view. So the 3D view, this is how it looks. Just gonna change this to realistic. So I'm gonna select these secondary beams, go to materials. So I'm going to apply material to this. So usually the material, um, um, I'm not really much familiar with it, but it looks like a hard, sort of like a rubber material, which is very much harder. But in this instance, I'm just going to apply timber to this. So I'm just going to say timber, then go down, say timber C4, load it in, apply, and then okay. So this is how it looks. Just to apply different color so that you can see the distinction between the materials and the elements and all that. So yeah. And then from this moment, we have to add another beams. So I'm gonna go to reference level again. I'm gonna select one beam, and then I'm gonna go to rotate. So from rotate, I'm gonna check my copy option, and then I'm gonna rotate this at 90 degrees. And as you can see, this is how it looks. And then I'm gonna move it from this insertion point, and then I'm just gonna center it like this. Go to the front elevation, and then I'm gonna place it on top of these steel elements like this. Go to the 3D view. So I'm gonna go to the 3D view, and basically this is how it looks. So I'm gonna select this, go to the reference level, copy, and then I'm gonna copy this to the other intersection points like this. And this is what we have. But obviously we should add more to this. So I'm gonna select one, and then I'm just gonna I want us to add 3 more inside like this. So I'm gonna go to array, or you can press AR on your keyboard, and I'm gonna set the numbers to 4, and then make sure your constraints are set to last. And then from this insertion point, I'm just gonna place it like this. So there are 2 of them on this side, on the inside. So if I open up the 3D view, this is basically what we have. Let me just check if they are not clashing. If I set this to 3, okay, so I'm gonna set this to 4. I think that's perfect. So I'm gonna select these two, go to the reference level and say mirror pick axis, and then pick this reference plane, and then the others are gonna be copied to the other side. So this is how it looks. Perfect. Now, the next thing is we're gonna have to place our plywood. So we're gonna have to place our plywood and our railings. So for our plywood, you can go to reference level again. And then you can go to create and then extrusion and then select your rectangle. And then from this, okay, let me set this to wireframe. And then from this insertion point, I'm gonna place my rectangle and then use this also as my insertion point. I'm gonna apply material to this. So it's gonna be timber. Actually, sorry. I'm gonna type in plywood. So it's gonna be plywood, and if I scroll down, so we do have plywood, and then I'm gonna let this in, apply, and say okay. Finish edit mode, go to the front elevation. I'm just gonna drag this upwards, so I'm gonna place it on top like this, and then the thickness, I'm just gonna make it 20. Like, let me make it 40 millimeters, or let me make it 60. Yeah, 60 millimeters. So if I open up the 3D view, and this is how it looks. So I'm just going to extend this, go to the reference level, change this to hidden line. So you're going to extend this towards this end, and also this end, towards this end, and also towards this end. Open up the 3D view, and this is what we have. Perfect. Now I'm going to go back to the reference level, and then I'm gonna go to create and say sweep sketch path, and then I'm gonna draw a line on the perimeter like this. So I'm gonna leave this space open. So from this, I'm just gonna say finish and say edit profile, and then I'm gonna go to the front elevation, open view, and then from there, I'm gonna just draw a temporary line at 1000 millimeter height. So from there, I'm gonna draw two. Uh, um, so I'm gonna draw two railings. So I'm gonna compose a railing. So I'm gonna draw two elements at 20 millimeter thickness. So I'm gonna take it to the right like this, and then down at 90, I think. Let me make it 80 millimeters, and then I'm gonna take it to the left like this. So I'm gonna leave a spacing of 20 millimeters. We'll draw another one, so it's gonna be 80 millimeters, and then take it to the right like this, and say trim and extend. And then I'm just gonna say SL for slice, and I'm gonna slice this line and then remove this part. So I'm going to say finish edit mode, go to the 3D view and say finish edit mode. So this is how it looks. So I'm going to select this, go to the front elevation again, and then I'm going to select this part, copy it, and then I'm going to offset it by 500 millimeters, and this is what we have. And then I'm going to compose my balustrades. So for my balustrades, I'm going to go to the reference level, and then I'm gonna let me just place a reference line like this. So I'm gonna offset it from this point by, let's say, 500. Let me just remove this. So I'm gonna go to create extrusion again. I can select my circle and then use this as my insertion point. So the balustrades are going to be sort of like aluminium, and then they're going to be 60 millimeters in diameter, so 30 millimeter radius. I'm going to select the circle and then move it towards this point like this, so that it doesn't clash with these steel railings. And then I'm going to say finish edit mode, go to the front elevation, and then I'm going to drag it upwards like this, and then drag it towards this point like this. Perfect. And then I'm going to select it, go to array or AR on your keyboard, and then from this insertion point, I'm going to drag it towards this point, and set the number to 8. I'm going to set the number to 8 and press enter. So we have 8 of them, and obviously it clashes, so I'm just going to move this towards this point. And then I'm gonna say control select all these balustrades, and then I'm gonna say mirror pick axis, pick the middle reference plane, and then they're gonna be copied to the other side. I'm gonna select one of these, go to array again, and then I'm gonna array 6 of them this side, so it's gonna be 6, and then make sure your constraints are set to last, and then I'm gonna use this as my endpoint. So 6 of them are going to be placed like this. Go to the 3D view, and this is how it looks. But I'm gonna select one, right click, select all instances visible in view. I'm gonna ungroup these and then apply a different material to this. So it's gonna be aluminium. So aluminium again, and say OK. So this is what we have. So obviously it's a dummy family. Ideally, if you specialize in formwork and all those things, you want to quantify these materials and elements separately. So in order for you as a modeler to make it easier for those guys who are manufacturing this, you have to create a nested family, and then you're gonna have to check this shared parameter thing. This shared parameter allows you to separate the quantities of nested elements into a single family. So what do I mean by that? On the next tutorial, let me make an example. So let's say we are generating this family. We are making it intelligent. Obviously, I'm going to have to do the basis and these steel elements and all of these individually. And then I'm going to nest. In order for me to make it easier for myself to place them on my project, I'm going to generate a nested family, which means I'm going to combine all of these into a single family before I load it into my project. But in order for you to separate them in terms of your quantities on your schedule, you have to check shared parameter on each family you compose individually. And then the nested family also, you're going to have to check the shared parameter. And then after that, you can load it into your family. And then on your uh, schedule on your quantities, all these elements are going to be separated and have their own specific sets of dimensions, areas, volumes, and all those things. So that's the basis of an intelligent family. But for this tutorial, it was a case of visualization. So I hope you guys have learned something. So this is the table formwork. It's one of the first things that I learned about when I did a BIM model for a mixed use building. So I was very much intrigued about the system of table formwork for placement of slabs for a residential building. So thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I hope you learned something. And I will see you on the next tutorial. Peace.